for a brisk, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's race here with the Dre Broadcasting Network and side by side with the Roaring Thunder Racing League. Tonight is round 10, the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy 150. That's the Roaring Thunder Racing Indy 150 at Iowa here tonight, as we will be turning laps for 150 laps actually, and these drivers putting down some amazing lap times with a lot of speeds at the exact same time. I'm the commentator Sean Zulu, and joining me up in the Dre Broadcasting booth is David Everly. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am doing good too, thank you. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, this is once again the Roaring Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series here tonight at Iowa Speedway. And Dave, what are we dealing with tonight? Absolutely, and the drive is accompanied by a 75% fuel limit. That is 75%. So we should expect to see at least 1 to 2 required pit stops, well, most likely 2 to 3 required in order for the drivers to be able to make it the full length of the way, 150 laps. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a recap from the last race we had, which was 2 weeks ago. That is 2 weeks ago, December 16th. That was the Roaring Thunder Racing League IndyCar Road America Grand Prix at Road America. In that race, we had Keaton Bommersbach able to break the winning streak, or the 8-win streak of Robert Barras, our points leader, who has been for a very long time now. So we had Keaton Bommersbach win that race. Robert Barras came out second. Jeremy Horn came out third. Charles Smith came out fourth. Seth Schultz came out fifth. Mark Kochik sixth. Simon Thorne 7th, Mark McFadden 8th, Steven Leffler 9th, Jeff Dodson 10th, Corey Silva 11th, Evan Black 12th, and Paul Cohen did round up the whole entire field of 13 drivers in that race. Well, moving on to our current point standings, Robert Barras once again still leading, 9 starts and 8 wins, 9 top 5s and 9 top 10s. Charles Smith second place in points. We have Jeremy Horn defending champion third place in points. Mark Kochik 4th, Jim Whaley Jr. 5th, Mark McFadden 6th, Keaton Bummers back last race winner 7th, Jeff Dodson 8th, Steven Leffler 9th, Ronald Vincent 10th, Poe Cohen 11th, Noah Lewis 12th, Shane Gross 13th, Art Peck 14th, Corey Silva 15th, we have John Morgan 16th, Caleb Thompson 17th, Evan Black 18th, Simon Thorns 19th, Rick Mason 20th, Seth Schultz 21st, Justin Anderson, so that's Justin Anderson 22nd, Kyle Nadu 23rd, Jason Allison 24th, and Glenn Bowen in a 24th place spot. Actually, we have Jason Allison and Glenn Bowen both tied for 24th place in the point standings. Well, going back to the race. Going back to the race here tonight, the drivers are currently qualifying, and here before too long we will move into the gridding session where the drivers start lining up. But so far the pole sitter is the points leader, the 75 of Robert Barris. And ladies and gentlemen, please type it up, say something, get active in the chat, say hello, let us know what's on your mind, and we will respond, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, for the new viewers, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. The existing and or returning viewers, welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network, and I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show here tonight by the Roaring Thunder Racing League. Well, looks like the drivers are now gridding up, lining up, ready to go. So we will go down this list before too long. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, our post sitter is the current points leader, who has been for a very long time, having the most wins so far this season. Robert Barris, Jeremy Horn, defending champion, starting right beside him. Second, the 13 of Charles Smith. Second place in points, starting third. The 3 of Jeff Dodson. Fourth, the 37 of Ronald Vincent. Fifth, the 48 of Mark McFadden. Sixth, 51 of Poe Cohen. Seventh, 57 of Simon Thorns, 8th, that 46 of Jim Whaley Jr., 9th, 72 of Steven Leffler, 11th, and John Estes starting in the 11th place spot. And I have a feeling I mispronounced John's last name, but if I did, I do apologize. We were trying to get a race interview in with him here throughout the whole entire race and get that figured out. And so for the drivers are now rolling here behind the pace car, being led by 75 of Robert Barris this time around here tonight at Iowa. And looking there in the chat, we had one viewer type it up. That was Evil PC Gaming. Welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network, Mr. Evil PC Gaming. Hope you're doing well. Well, in this case, could be Mr. or Mrs. So welcome once again, Evil. And here we have an additional pace lap. So the driver is going around one more time. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Roaring Thunder Racing League. Please check them out on iRacing at Roaring Thunder Racing League. They do run an Indy series, IndyCar series at road and oval tracks and road courses. They have them mixed throughout the whole entire season. So if you guys are interested in some open wheel racing with the Indy cars, check out the Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing. They are accepting drivers. They are looking for some drivers, so jump on that. And also on Tuesday nights they have a Pro Mazda series, which that too is an open wheel racing series. So you guys can join either of those or both of those based on how much experience you have, or I should say in this case your preference and time. And that pace car dips off. The leaders do go on green. The green flag is out and Robert Barras wastes no time whatsoever. Gray starts against 14 of Jeremy Horn so far, single file. 13 of Charles Smith here, third place in line 3. Jeff Dodson fourth. We are green, lap number 1 of the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy 150 at Iowa Speedway. A new viewer in the chat there, that is Gomez. Gomez, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network, and thank you very much for the correction there on John Estes' name. So John Estes there in the 80, I do appreciate that. And once again, buddy, hope you're doing well. And here as we speak, some single file, a lot of single file going on, but up front 14 of Jeremy Horn trying to challenge Robert Barras for that race lead, and so far trying to set him up the best that he can. In practice I noticed that the outside line was coming into play early on. Well, basically the outside line is a place to be in the early stages. Surprisingly, well, the drivers up there, they can still hold it wide open, but once again they are covering way more distance compared to those drivers on the inside. So far everybody going to that middle and bottom lane. As we saw right now, Robert Barras did tap the apron there on the exit of turn number 2. That almost got ugly. That was almost disastrous. And behind him 13 of Charles Smith trying to charge on the back bumper of, I should say, the rear end of 14 of Jeremy Horn. And Jeremy Horn side by side with Robert Barras, but in the turns he does end up having him due to him covering less distance around the track on the bottom lane. And here the 13 of Charles Smith watching the battle from his shotgun seat from the two drivers. But Jeremy Horn backs it down so far, falls back in line, and will try and pounce at a later stage. And for the back in this pack, the 37 of Ronald Vincent, single file behind the 3 of Jeff Dodson. And ladies and gentlemen, these drivers here in the turns are running about 183 to about 185 miles per hour. And for the drivers in the draft up there on the straightaways, they are breaking speeds of 190 plus. I've noticed there Robert Barras was able to go about 191 before coming up to the turn, specifically turn number 3. And the drivers also running all the way from 16 to about 17-second lap times. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, these drivers running about 3 laps per minute. So these laps are going by pretty quick, but with this much speed comes a lot more responsibility, and these drivers know that. And for the back in the pack, 72 of Steven Leffler gets overtaken by the 51 of Paul Cohen. And now Paul Cohen's next victim is the 57 of Simon Thorns. Simon Thorns in turn is catching up to the 46, or at least trying to catch the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. And Dave, so far it seems like up front the drivers seem to be pulling away. So basically, let's see, about the top 5 drivers are less than a second within each other, but everybody else behind is falling back. We have 6th place driver on back, 2 seconds plus behind the leaders.
Yeah, as we saw there, Steven Leffler, he's got some heavy damage on that machine. He got into the outside wall as he is coasting it down here on the inside. We are staying green flag racing. He's going to have to get that off the track here. Ooh, just barely gets it off in enough time for the leaders to pass him, but he has got heavy damage.
Oh man, yeah, very unfortunate for Steven Leffler, but great save by him, keeping us green flag racing. As a result, that machine is suffering with rotation, and as a result, he's been forced to go below 50 miles per hour. In order for this machine to rotate. He is on pit road as we speak here. Before too long, he'll be getting his only backup car, his only quick fix, his only fast repair, and we'll be back out there in no time. But with these machines, this series having no wave arounds, single file restarts, no lucky dogs, basically, it makes it extra difficult or nearly impossible to get your lap back here. His best bet here is to have an excellent green flag pit stop or green flag pit stops if we have many, in order for him to be able to make up a lot of time and hopefully get one or more laps back, because now he is 3 laps down as we speak. Yes, 3 laps down, and he is off pit road.
Well, unfortunately, Sean, they don't do lucky dogs here in the Indy cars, so he's going to have to get them back the hard way.
Oh, indeed. And as we spoke there, Dave, he actually went an additional lap down, now being shown 4 laps down. And hopefully keeps his head high, his foot down the floor, and does enough damage to catch up to these drivers and get his laps back the hard way. Like we said, no lucky dogs here, no wave arounds. The only wave around there is when you're behind the pace car with the 1 to go mark. You do get waved around, and again he gets lapped by the leaders, now being shown 5 laps down and trying to get his laps back once again the hard way as he struggles to get back up to speed. But going back up front, new leader 14 of Jeremy Horn and Robert Barras in second. And here the updated top 5 with 22 laps in: Jeremy Horn, Robert Barras, Charles Smith, Jeff Dodson, and Ronald Vincent rounding up the top 5 this far. And tonight we are missing a couple of drivers. We are missing last race winner, Road America race winner. That was Keaton Bummersback. And we have not seen, that is Art Peck, in a while. Corey Silva, Shane Gross, Noah Lewis, Caleb Thompson, Evan Black, Rick Mason, Seth Schultz, Justin Anderson, Kyle Nady, Jason Allison, Glenn Bowen. Hope these drivers are doing well. We look forward to seeing these drivers back again next week for the Kentucky 150 at Kentucky. That is round number 11. And Dave, this is round number 10 of the season, round 10 of 16. So Dave, with that said, I think it is go time because the season is coming to an end. And with the way Robert Barras has driven all season long this far, he seems to be unstoppable. He has been leading in points for the longest time. And 14 of Jeremy Horn, a defending champion, trying to defend his throne, trying to hang on to that belt, that title. Hopefully he's gonna be able to do just that, but it's looking very good for Robert Barras, but not looking good for any of his opponents out there just yet. But we have seen a lot of things change for the worst. Actually, we've seen here that the points lead, or should the gap in between the top 2 drivers, Robert Barras and Charles Smith, is 180 points. That is a lot of points to be made up. So I'm not sure if that's going to be if Robert Barras is going to be beatable. I'm going to find that out here before too long. We will speak to one of the league officials, the 3 of Jeff Dodson, before the season ends, and find out just exactly how that goes. But here for the back in the pack, 48 of Mark McFadden being approached by the 72 of Steven Leffler. No harm done. Steven Leffler 5 laps down. Mark McFadden trying to catch his next victim, who is about 3 seconds ahead of him. That's 37 of Ron Vincent. Steven Leffler got overtaken by the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. And Jim Whaley Jr. about 3/10 of a second behind the 48 of Mark McFadden. At the same time, Ronald Vincent catching up to the 3 of Jeff Dodson at quite the rate. And this is the same thing. It goes for Jeff Dodson and Charles Smith. third and fourth place drivers. And ladies and gentlemen, the draft between these machines, well, the draft with these machines is very strongly drafted quite well, way too well if you ask me. And with these machines rubbing, not racing, basically if you rub somebody with these machines, the likelihood of you surviving that is very slim. So with that said, rubbing is not racing with these machines, and them having being great drafting does really bring a lot of disaster when it comes to that. But these drivers handle that quite well, and up front here, top two drivers 0.6 of a second apart. That is Jeremy Horn and Robert Barris.
Yes, we've now completed 35 laps here. Just waiting to see how long these guys can go on a tank of fuel. I think it's going to we're under caution.
And I believe that involved the 46 of Jim Whaley.
Well, as we go back, we're going to watch Jim Whaley. Just gets into that outside wall and goes into a heck of a barrel roll. Highly unfortunate there for the 46 of Jim Whaley.
Oh, absolutely, man. And looks like there was some contact there made between himself and the 40. Oh, actually, no, scratch that. There was no contact between Mark McFadden and Whaley. But yeah, very unfortunate for the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. And this just might be a good thing for 72 of Stephen Leffler. If the drivers up front pit in, if everybody pits in and he stays out, Stephen Leffler that is, he should be able to get one lap back with the 1 to go mark if he stays out while they pit in. But going back up front here, everybody goes down pit road except for Jim Whaley Jr. and Stephen Leffler. Yeah, Jim Whaley's machine has seen better days as a result of that contact. It is angled to the right a lot. He has to keep that wheel turned so hard to the left, actually, to the left, to go straight. But he is on pit road as we speak, and not to worry, ladies and gentlemen, he does have one backup car, one quick fix, so he will be able to get back in it and stay in it to win it here before too long. And as promised, the 72 of Stephen Leffler is behind the pace car, so he should be getting one lap back with 1 to go. Well, we are still 2 to green, so this gives us time to get a race interview in. So let's focus on the 37 of Ronald Vincent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up here in the Dre Broadcasting booth is 37 of Ronald Vincent. Get up there, Ronald.
What's going on?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Well, Ron, here tonight, a heck of a race on your part. You did start in the 5th place spot, and currently you were being shown in the 4th place spot before you left pit road. How's the race been so far? Oh, got a cup there, buddy?
Oh yeah, I did. I messed up and passed the pit stall a while ago, and I had to go back in, so I'm gonna be further back, but I'll make it back up.
Oh, copy that, man. That is great to hear. But how's the race going, man? Besides that, how's the machine handling?
It's going good.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Well, just wanted to check in with you, man, and it looks like you're doing well. Hope you had an amazing two-week break there, just after coming from the Road America. But, buddy, here you're almost going 1 to green. So good luck to you, buddy, and see you in Victory Lane tonight.
Okay.
And that was a 37 of Ronald Vincent. He said he made a mistake on pit road, which did cost him a little bit of time. I mean, positions and time. So he will be restarting in the 10th place spot. And Stephen Leffler just got 1 lap back. It looks like, yes, Stephen Leffler back to 4 laps down from 5. And Steven Leffler goes around the pace car here this time around. And the lights of the pace car do turn off. We are back 1 to green. Still being led by the 14 of Jeremy Horn. Robert Barra starting second. Charles Smith third. Jeff Dotson fourth. And Simon Thorns running up the top 5. Well, exiting turn 4 this time around, pace car dips off the drivers, always go on green. Here's the green flag is about to fly. The green flag is out, and 14 of Jeremy Horn finds the gas pedal immediately. And that 75 of Beres misses a shift, and the gap will increase a little bit, but not too much. Here and 13 of Charles Smith, your third place in line so far. Single file, Jeff Dotson, Simon Thorns, John Estes, and the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. here back from the dead. Oh man, he jerks his wheel right as John lost a lot of speed off turn 4. It could have been ugly, and Jim Whaley Jr. heck of a save on his part, and still green flag racing. A lap 43 laps in this time around with only 108 laps remaining. And here in 5th place, Simon Thorns coming ever closer to the rear end of the 3 of Jeff Dotson. At the exact same time, Jeff Dotson keeping quite a gap. I mean, a good enough gap, consistent gap, if you will, against the 13 of Charles Smith. But up front here, we had Robert Beres trying to make some moves against Jeremy Horn. He goes high, he goes back down low. He is trying his best to make some moves, but so far Jeremy Horn doing quite well, maintaining the race lead. Oh, we have a spinner off the exit of turn 2. That might be 46 of Jim Whaley. Yes, it is. Jim Whaley Jr. spinning off the exit of turn 2.
Well, we're going to go back to the Dre broadcast and replay, take a look, see what happened to the 46 of Jim Whaley. As I pull up the replay here, looks like he might have just got loose there in the turn. Oh, made contact with the apron, it spun him around and down into the inside wall, completely ripping his whole front nose off.
Oh man, that's very unfortunate for Jim Whaley Jr. And unfortunately, he ended up using his only backup car, quick fix, fast repair, during the first caution, unfortunately. And as a result, he will be having to spend a lot of time on pit road with his pit crew trying their best to put a brand new wing on that machine and get it back up to speed before the race ends. But that's going to be a long way from now, a long way down the road. Because the laps go by pretty quick. Once again, the drivers running 16 to about 18-second lap times, depending on the tire wear. So he will be multiple laps down before too long. Oh man, unfortunately he's retired for the evening, but we look forward to seeing him back again next week for the Kentucky 150 at Kentucky Speedway. Well, going back up front, Jeremy Horn still leading. Robert Beres still trying to challenge him for the first place spot. Yes, he goes to his inside, side by side. Jeremy Horn stays high, and Beres will take the first place spot away. Nope. Power move by Jeremy Horn off the exit of turn 2 and takes back the race lead.
Yeah, it looks like he was bringing Charles Smith with him, but unfortunately Charles was not able to get there around Robert Burris. But now Robert Burris got his hands full with Charles Smith and Jeff Dotson behind him.
Yep, and Jeff Dotson so far being challenged as well by the 57 of Simon Thorns. Simon Thorns here lets off in the turns. Looks like he's trying his best to set up Jeff Dotson, trying to set him up and get a better run off the exit of these turns, and most likely perform the crossover move, the over and under, or the in and out, depends on however you want to call it. But looks like the gap stays consistent once again between the two drivers, Thorns and Jeff Dotson. And for the back in this pack, 48 of Mark McFadden, we have Poco and Ronald Vincent here single file. And last time we checked on Ron Vincent during the restart, he was in the 10th place spot, but now in 6th. You know, and Ronald Vincent himself did tell us, you know, he made a mistake on pit road, but he will be back up there before too long, and he is living up to that. He moved up 4 spots already, but lost 1 spot as we spoke to the 48 of Mark McFadden at the exact same time. Oh, contact between Ronald Vincent and the 51 of Paul Cohen. No harm done, still racing. Well, the harm there, I guess, was with the 37 of Ronald Vincent, who lost speed and momentum and 1 spot to Paul Cohen himself, unfortunately. And Ronald Vincent is going to have to back it up and do it all over again. And hopefully he's in the draft range of the 2 drivers there, Paul Cohen and Mark McFadden, so he can be able to catch up to them. But going further back up front here with the 13 of Charles Smith. Charles Smith watching the battle between Robert Barras and Jeremy Horn, who are still trying to go at it. But so far, Robert Barras still struggling to get around Jeremy Horn. You know, it goes to show how difficult passing could be at Iowa.
I've ridden these cars here a time or two. It's actually really fun. It is quite difficult with these draft packages to get these passes, but I mean, it can be done. It's just a matter of Burris can find the right lane to get around Jeremy Horn.
Yep, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's been trying to play mind games against Jeremy Horn, because when you have a driver so close to you, like Barras behind Horn like that, the driver up front, Jeremy Horn in this case, might start driving in his rear view, and Robert Barras will try and play mind games. He might go left, he might go right, he might go up or down on the track, and hoping that Jeremy Horn is watching that, because Jeremy Horn might follow his lead without even knowing it, and that would benefit Robert Barras greatly. But so far Jeremy Horn is holding his own. He is staying very consistent and not falling for those mind games that Robert Barras is trying to play against him. And so far they still stay single file, and the 3 Jeff Dodson here is now being left behind by 13 of Charles Smith. At the exact same time, Simon Thorns has fallen back quite a bit. He was right there behind Jeff Dodson, but is now being shown about 1.5 seconds behind him.
Yeah, and I mean, here we are, 64 laps complete already, 87 laps to go, so, I mean, not really too much time left, really.
Oh, and Dave, we are under caution here. 48 of Mark McFadden was involved.
Now let's pull up the Dre Broadcasting replay here, focusing on the 48 of Mark McFadden as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting replay. Let's see what happened here. I probably might have been another. Oh, he just was running high. He got down. Oh, another one made contact with the apron, spun around, and hit his nose heavily into the wall. So apparently hitting the apron here is not a good thing to do.
Oh, indeed, and they are very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. For the 48 of Mark McFadden there, unfortunately. So he will be going down pit road here before too long to either get that damage fixed or get his only backup car if he has it. Yeah, I believe he has it. I don't remember him being involved in anything. Well, up front here, we are being led down pit road by the leader 14 of Jeremy Horn, and pretty much everybody down pit road except for Steven Leffler trying to get his lap back.
And look at that, Burris is going to beat Jeremy Horn off of pit road here, giving himself back the lead here on lap 66 of 150.
Oh man, an interesting fact about that, Dave. Robert Barras had a 5.4 second pit stop compared to Jeremy Horn, who had a 6.1 second pit stop. Just that time right there, ladies and gentlemen, could be the difference between losing a spot or gaining a spot, or spots, if it comes down to it. So even a 1/10 of a second does make quite a difference when it comes down to pit road. So great job to Robert Barras taking back that race lead, and now it's going to be a tough time. Jeremy Horn trying to get back that race lead again. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, gives us time to get a race interview in. So let's focus on the 80 of John Estes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up here in the Dre Broadcasting booth is the 8-0 of John Estes. Get a copy there, John?
Yeah, I got a copy.
How are you doing tonight?
Well, doing pretty good as far as being still in the race, but not very good positioning.
Oh, copy that, man. Well, it seems like you're still being able to stay alive, man, despite the competition going around, you here in tonight's race. And John, this is your first race this season with the Roaring Thunder Racing League IndyCar Series. And how's the machine handling tonight, man?
Seems to be handling pretty good.
And how's the tire fall off? Because, you know, with these things, they have so much grip. At the exact same time, the tire wear is, or the tire fall off is little to none.
For some people, maybe I'm trying too hard.
Oh, 10-4, man. Well, buddy here is staying alive so far. And with what you've been seeing so far, this scanning the whole competition tonight, where do you see yourself on lap 150?
I'm sorry, I didn't pick up on that.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying, with what you've been seeing so far on the track with the competition around you, where do you see yourself on lap 150?
Ooh, right where I'm at right now, I believe.
Oh, man. Well, we hope to see you, let's see, at least 7 spots higher, man. This could be your first race and your first win, brother. You have what it takes to bring this home. So stay alive, buddy. Keep your foot down the floor. I look forward to seeing you in Victory Lane.
Okay, thank you.
And that was the 8-0 of John Estes. This is his first race with the Roaring Thunder Racing League. But up front, we are now back 1 to green, being led by Robert Barris, Jeremy Horn 2nd, Charles Smith 3rd, Jeff Dotson 4th, and Simon Thorns in the 5th place position. And here we have Steven Leffler still 4 laps down because he decided to go down pit road for some service. And as a result, did not get the wave around behind the pace car, so he is still 4 laps down in the 10th place spot. And as I talked about there early on, we had lost the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. And the pace car is off, the green flag is out, and Robert Barris finds the gas pedal. 14 of Jeremy Horn here, still right behind him, single file. They did have quite the pretty much uneven reaction time on that restart, but as we speak, Jeremy Horn side by side off turn 2 with Robert Barris, entering turn 3. Barris who have him, he taps the apron, goes sideways, heavy contact off turn 4, big wreck. Oh man, Jeremy Horn on his lid, flipping in every single direction possible, and the caution flies on lap 7-0.
Well, let's go back to the replay. We saw that live, but let's go back to the replay, see if we can see exactly what happened here. Because that was a disastrous wreck here. So let's take a look here. It's Jeremy Horn and Robert Burris. I'm not sure if there was contact, but Charles Smith, heavy damage as well. Yeah, it looked like maybe Robert Burris slowed down a little too more than Jeremy Horn expected. Looks like he might have got into the back end and both of them around. Charles Smith flying through the air, heavy damage to Robert Burris and Jeremy Horn. So.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. That involved a lot of drives, unfortunately. So Robert Barris, Charles Smith, Jeff Dotson, Jeremy Horn, and Mark McFadden. Actually, Mark McFadden was able to go through the grass and avoid that. But that involved more than just 3 drivers. And yeah, from further investigation there, the slowdown by Robert Barris was caused by him tapping the apron. So the apron claims 1 more driver. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the apron is never your friend, especially when it comes to the Indy cars. These things do carry way too much, a lot of speed, and with that much speed, sideways action is never pretty. And Robert Barris went on pit road, got a brand new machine. Same with the case of Charles Smith, including Jeff Dotson. And now the new race leader is the 57 of Simon Thorns. And looking there in the chat, we have Gone Fishing TV. Welcome back, Gone Fishing TV. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And here the updated top 5. Simon Thorne's leading, Ronald Vincent 2nd, Poco in 3rd, John Estates 4th, and the 3 of Jeff Dotson in the 5th place spot here, rounding up the top 5 this far. And further down this list here, Mark McFadden 6th, Robert Barra 7th, Jeremy Horn 8th, Charles Smith 9th, and Stephen Leffler in the 10th place spot. And Charles Smith, first driver 1 lap down, but get a piece of the action and still on pit road as we speak. Getting towed down to pit road, actually looks like. Hopefully he'll be back here before too long. So then the driver who is hoping to get the waiver on the pace car is Stephen Leffler. But seems like the leaders up front will not pit in. And that means Stephen Leffler will not get that wave round with 1 to green. Because once again, no lucky dog. Oh, 10-4 Gone Fishing TV, man. Hope we're glad to hear about that, man. Look forward to seeing you on the track soon. Yeah, that was John. Gone Fishing TV in the chat, letting us know he got a he got a racing wheel and pedals for Christmas. And we'll be on the track with us here soon. So once again, also, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you interested in iRacing, those who might not know about it, check out iRacing.com, the best simulation there is out there. That is iRacing.com. So please check them out. And also check out the Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing. And the lights on the pace car do turn off. We are now back 1 to green this time around. Simon Thorne still leading. Ronald Vincent 2nd, Poco in 3rd, John Estates 4th, and Jeff Dotson in that 5th place position. And let's see, we have 75 laps in, 76 laps remaining. So we're here in 1 lap. It will be the halfway mark. Well, going green this time around, ladies and gentlemen, with 75 laps remaining once we cross the start-finish line. And that pace car dips off the green flag, flies, and Simon Thorne finds that gas, but Ronald Vincent right behind him. Well, Ronald Vincent gets a better start than he did. And now side by side through turn 1, and Ron Vincent will edge out Simon Thorne at the exact same time. Paul Cohen's his free lunch program tries to take it away from Ronald Vincent, but decides to just back it down right for now as these drivers all get up to speed. And ladies and gentlemen, 77 laps in, 74 laps remaining. We'll take this time to take our first commercial break of the evening. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy 150, here with the Roaring Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series, and tonight is the continuation for round number 10 at Iowa Speedway. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are interested in being a part of the action here with the Roaring Thunder, please check them out at Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing. On Saturday nights, they run an IndyCar Series at road courses and oval tracks. And on Tuesdays they have an open wheel Mazda. That's Pro Mazda series. Pro Mazda series on Tuesdays. So you guys can join either of those or both of those based on your preference and availability. So once again, that's Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing. Well, going back to the race, Ronald Vincent still leading, Simon Thorne second, Paul Cohen third, Robert Barras moving up to 4th place, and Mark McFadden rounding up the top 5. And unfortunately, we've lost one more driver, the defending champion 14 of Jeremy Horn. This race unfortunately didn't go his way tonight. We look forward to seeing him and everybody else back next week at Kentucky Speedway for the Kentucky 150. And up front here, the top 2 drivers, Simon Thorns and Ronald Vincent, are being shown about 2.1 seconds and increasing behind the, ahead of the rest of the field. And Simon Thorns has been playing mind games against Ronald Vincent for the longest time. He pounces on him this time around. Oh, almost go side by side, but ends up backing it down before turn 1. And now they're catching up to a slower machine. That is going to be the 3 of Jeff Dodson. Jeff Dodson, last driver on the lead lap. If they get around him, he would be going a lap down. He's going to try and fight it. Nope, he stays high to let the faster traffic by. No harm done. As Ron Vincent gets around successfully. And now Simon Thorns does the same. And for that 3rd place spot, we have Paul Cohen so far being approached by 2 battling drivers, Mark McFadden and the 75 of Robert Barras. They end up going single file, and they just might go single file to work together for a common good, and that good being catching up to their next victims and or opponents. In this case, Simon Thorns and Ronald Vincent. And Simon Thorns once again still on the outside line, trying to make some moves against Ronald Vincent, but Vincent as well still being a heavy opponent, trying to maintain that lead the best that he can. 102 laps in and 48 laps remaining. And coming into tonight's race, I was thinking we're going to be having at least 2 pit stops in tonight's race. Here, 75% fuel limit with the 450 laps. But here with 48 laps remaining, the last time these drivers pitted in was about 39 to 40 laps ago. Something tells me they still might need to come in at least once. But fingers crossed for that if that's the case. And if it is the case, that will mean that's going to be the most important pit stop, because that will be the final one.
Yeah, let's see if we can get it under green flag conditions. That definitely set things up here. But I'll tell you, these guys up front, Ronald Vincent, Simon Thorns, these 2 are battling right there. You can see Charles Smith, but he's currently 2 laps down.
At the same time, we just had a position change. That was between Mark McFadden and Robert Barras. Robert Barras went to 3rd place from 4th place. Mark McFadden from 5th place to 4th place. And Paul Cohen has been bumped down 2 spots from 3rd place to 5th place, and is trying, and so far seem to have stabilized in that 5th place spot. And when it comes to those green flag pit stops we talked about, the alien of the green flag pit stops all season long seems to have been actually two drivers for that. That is the pole sitter and the points leader, Robert Barras, including the 88 of Keaton Bommersbach. But tonight, Robert Barras is the driver to watch out for that. Oh man, but up front, Robert Barras has caught up to the top two drivers, Simon Thorns and Ronald Vincent.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him involved in that big wreck, and he's been able to get back out here, and now he's right here in the top 3. But, I mean, we still got 41 laps to go.
Yep, still 41 laps to go. Still a lot needing to be done, ladies and gentlemen, by the drivers. And Mark McFadden, too, was helping 75 of Robert Barras. Well, they were together, but the gap in between them seems to have gone up quite a bit. So far, McFadden trying to catch up to Robert Barras for that third place spot, while Barras gets ever closer to the rear end of Simon Thorns. Simon Thorns continues to apply heavy pressure to Ronald Vincent's rear view, and Ronald Vincent still defending his inside lane to defend the lead. And the good thing about these machines, it seems like here tonight at Iowa Speedway, there is so much grip. Wherever these guys put these machines, they will stick. Bottom lane, middle lane, high side, you name it, they will stick. But everyone seems to be going to the inside or staying low all race long this far here. 113 laps in with 37 laps remaining. You know, that does mean that, you know, the inside is a place to be. The tire fall off is not as bad as we might think it is. But John did talk about how he's not finding that to be the case. Looks like his machine might be dropping tires a little bit more than everybody else is. Of course, keep in mind or take into consideration that everyone has different driving and racing styles. With that said, the tires do end up wearing out differently. Well, as we speak here, only 6 drivers on the lead lap. First driver going down pit road is the 48 of Mark McFadden for his first and final green flag pit stop of the evening.
Yeah, we got 35 laps to go, so I wonder if this means we're going to start seeing people coming in. Mark McFadden down on pit road. The only one to go down right now, still staying out, is our leaders, Simon Thorne, Robert Burris, Ronald Vincent, our top 3. But Robert Burris is able to make his way back up into second.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened there, Dave. Yeah, but I just noticed this. But Ronald Vincent, yeah, just went from the lead to third place. He lost the spots to Simon Thorns and Robert Barris. And as we speak here, the top 2 drivers, Robert Barris and Simon Thorns, separated by only 0.4 of a second. Actually, it was 0.5 last lap, but that just went down a 1/10 of a second. At the same time, Ronald Vincent continues to lose time against the 2 drivers up front at a very fast rate. He was about 1.2 seconds behind them, but now that's gone up to about 2 seconds as got overtaken by the 13 of Charles Smith. But no harm done there, and 51 of Paul Cohen on pit road.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Simon Thorne's still being able to hold off Robert Burris, but he just can't shake him. Burris sitting about 0.3 behind him, but question is can Thorns hold off Burris? Can he get that crucial pit stop as we're starting to see some green flag pit stop?
Oh, caution flies on lap 121. This is a caution that was not needed for some of the drivers out there. Gonna see exactly who was involved in that. I saw Robert Barras spin out, but I don't believe it started with him.
Yeah, let's take a look here. As we take a look here, see if we can see exactly what happened. We'll start with Robert Burris here. Robert Burris running in the second. He just lost it coming through the turn, might have hit the apron, and he went completely around, bringing out a caution. That's going to put him back in the field, though, but he might be able to make up some positions here coming down pit road.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, very unfortunate for Robert Barros. At the same time, we had some bad luck there. John Estates might have missed. He ended up missing pit entrance a little bit and had to brake really hard there on the track and made a last-minute pit entry. But that was a success on his part. So great job to John Estates. And he was able to get his needed service on pit road. And speaking of pit road, we have Simon Thorns, Ronald Vincent, and Robert Barras down pit road this time around. With, let's see, that's going to be 28 laps remaining with 123 laps complete.
Well, the good news, though, after those pit stops, Robert Burst is able to get back up into second place. But the thing of it is they've got so many lap cars in front of them. I mean, they're going to have this traffic in front of them because, unfortunately, well, no, they'll get the wave around the lap car, but Thorne's there. He's going to have his hands full with Robert Burst.
Oh yeah, that is quite the opponent for Simon Thorns, but he was able to hold off drivers like Ronald Vincent and Paul Cohen there behind him for the longest time. So if he keeps just running that same race line, he's gonna make Robert Barras have to work for that. So fingers crossed. We look forward to seeing how Simon Thorns handles this. And looking there in the chat, we have John Marine. John Marine here tuning into the Dre Broadcasting Network. Welcome back, John. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. And absolutely, man, this has been a heck of a race so far, John. So much grip going on, so much traction. Bottom lane, middle lane, high lane, you name it. These guys going wide open for a very long time there in the beginning of these runs. The racing is quite well, too. It's going quite well. And because of the caution coming out when it did, it caught a lot of drivers off guard. The same drivers Dave talked about, the ones who were lapped down, Jeff Dotson, Mark McFadden, and Paul Cohen. These drivers were caught at a bad time when the caution came out. But I remember Jeff Dotson being 2 laps down not too long ago. He did get waved. He did get overtaken by the leaders at one point, but I believe we'll be getting his lap back and should be back on the lead lap this time around, or I should say next time around, once the lights of the pace car turn off. And status check on the 72 of Steven Leffler. Leffler had some bad luck there early on. As a result, went 5 laps down, but was able to get 1 lap back. And he is currently still in the 9th place spot. It is amazing to see Steven Leffler still with his head high, his foot down to the floor when the green flag flies. He is very determined. That's very commendable.
Yeah, right now only 3 cars left on the lead lap. Simon Thorns, Robert Bursch, Ronald Vincent, John Estes, Paul Cohen, Mark McFadden, Jeff Dodson, all 1 lap down. So they would like to see another caution. The only problem is, though, with another caution, I don't think the leaders are going to pit, so they ain't going to get their lap back.
You know, that's a very good point, yeah, with the drivers being able to make it, because the last run they had, I was scanning the field, and the driver who had the most laps on his tires and tank was the 75 of Robert Barras, who had 52 laps on his tires and tank, and they pitted in with about, that was roughly 28 through 35 laps remaining throughout the whole entire field. So yeah, these drivers are going to be able to make it. Oh, but the green flag flies. You just noticed that, and the Simon Thorns finds that gas pedal there up front, and Robert Barras was able to get a better start than he did and took over the race lead before the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Burst just jumped and took off like a rocket on that restart.
And the good thing about this for Simon Thorns is that the draft is working with him, but against Robert Barris. At the same time, you know, getting to one driver or getting to a driver is one thing, and getting around them is a totally different thing. So with that said, fingers crossed for Simon Thorns. He's made it a long way here in tonight's race, and he's not done just yet. And the caution flies with 129 laps complete and 22 laps left.
Yeah, it's going to be the 51 of Paul Cohen here as we go back on the Dre Broadcasting replay. We're going to focus on Paul Cohen, see exactly what happened to him, as it looks like he was running full contact between him and another car, sent him into the outside. Heavy damage on that machine for the 51 of Paul Cohen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was unfortunate indeed. And yeah, I made contact there with the 48 of Mark McFadden on the exit of turn number 4. And looks like there was Mark McFadden was recovering from some looseness there on the exit. And that wrong place, wrong time for 51 of Paul Cohen. And that did end up causing a chain reaction. And this is a caution that we talked about that some drivers might have benefited from if the drivers up front, the top 3 drivers here, Robert Barris, Simon Thorns, and Ronald Vincent pit in. The other drivers will benefit. But if the drivers up front stay out, it's not going to be a benefit nor a disadvantage for the rest of the field. And as we speak, yes, Robert Barris, Simon Thorns, and Ronald Vincent staying out. And ladies and gentlemen, this does give us time to get a race interview in, so let's focus on the 3 of Jeff Dodson. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up in the Dre Broadcasting booth is league owner, the 3 of Jeff Dodson. Get a copy there, Jeff.
Yeah, sure do.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How you guys doing?
Oh, doing good too, thank you. Well, buddy, hope you had a heck of a break, man. You know, 2 weeks, and you know, coming back to tonight's race here, Iowa, after coming from Road America. How's the transition?
It's different. I'll say that to the least. Road courses and ovals are very, very much different from one another. But the off week there kind of, I think, got me a little rusty. I didn't do any practice or anything up for this race until just last night. I turned some laps, and then tonight during practice I turned about 30 laps. So other than that, I mean, it's been an okay race. Got caught up in that big crash there with the leaders on the restart. Thought my car was okay. It was damaged and fell back, went a lap down, and on that previous restart there, I thought I was going to get my lap back, but I must have been 2 laps down, and thought I was only 1 because I'm still a lap down. But yeah, it's been a fun night. Hopefully we can keep it here in 4th and finish strong, and at least I can finish where I started.
Almost definitely, man. And yeah, sounds like a heck of an eventful race on your part here this far. You know, now being the first driver 1 lap down, and very commendable you getting your lap back like you did after being 2 laps down due to some bad luck. And Jeff, in the beginning, it seemed as though you had one of the faster machines out there. How's it been treating you?
Yeah, just gotta thank good friend here, Charles Smith, and another league admin here for making these setups, and he just he just does a great job making these setups week in and week out. Just it's tiring work, and I know he puts up with a lot to do it, and it's great. And he made a great setup for this race tonight. The car feels spectacular. Just wish the things could went a little differently, and I could be up there battling for the lead like I kind of was there at the beginning of the race. The car felt great on the first initial run, and after the first pit stop, it felt the same. And then the second pit stop after that one caution, it just kind of, the car did feel a tad bit different. And we got caught up in that incident and got damaged. So, yeah, it's been an eventful night for a lot of us, especially for Jeremy there with his issues. And one guy couldn't even get in the race with some computer issues. So, yeah, it's been a pretty eventful night here in Iowa, but say the least, it's been a fun race.
Oh, indeed, man. Well, buddy, it's very nice to see you being sounding very positive, despite the race not going as well as you had hoped it had been. But once again, man, keep up the great work here. You do an amazing job here with the Roaring Thunder Racing League. And Jeff, I talked about how you, the owner of the league. For the viewers out there who are interested in being a part of the action, how would they get a hold of you?
If they have an iRacing account, they can contact me by just going to the league directory and looking up our league, Roaring Thunder Racing League, or then there also you can go to our website at americantrucker8.wix.com/RTRL.
Oh, 10-4, brother. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right there. That is the website, americantrucker8.wix.com/RTRL. Well, buddy, keep up the great work. You are now going green, so good luck to you, and hope the race picks up.
Yep, hope it does too. Good luck, guys. Thanks.
And that was Jeff Dodson. The pace car dips. The green flag is out, and Barras finds that gas pedal. Simon Thorne still second, but being overtaken by the 13 of Charles Smith. But no harm done there between the two drivers. Charles Smith 2 laps down. Simon Thorne's on the lead lap, still maintains second place spot against him. And I should say against 37 Ronald Vincent here in this case. And Ronald Vincent here in some heavy traffic. Free lunch program 48 of Mark McFadden on his outside and gets a run success with 51 of Paul Cohen next in line, and right beside him here is the 80 of John Estates. Oh man, Dave, Ronald Vincent seems to have had a very bad restart. He has fallen way back behind his opponents. Well, most of the field is at least a lap or more down. But his biggest opponents here, Simon Thorne and Robert Barras, are now a lot of seconds ahead of him. Namely, I should say 3.7 seconds to be exact. And here with 138 laps left, 13 laps remaining here in tonight's race. Almost the 10 lap to go mark. It is go time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, these drivers a lap or more down. Oh, the caution flies this time around on lap 139. Can I see who was involved?
It's going to be the 51 of Paul Cohen here. We are going to go back to the Dre broadcast and replay. Let's take a look here at the replay, see what happened to Paul Cohen. Just tapped that apron and got down in, backed into hard into that inside wall. Looks like he was trying to get around, but he was off the tracks. So, when he tried to get back on the track, he spun back around, and there comes the leader, causing the caution to come out.
Oh man, yeah, that caution. I mean, the apron tonight has claimed a lot of drivers, ladies and gentlemen. The apron is never your friend whatsoever, never ever your friend, especially when it comes to these machines that carry so much speed and are way lighter than most machines that run here at Iowa. But very unfortunate for 51 of Paul Cohen. And this is the second incident I believe that Paul Cohen is involved in. So with that said, I do believe he does not have any backup car left. Oh, his only backup car was used there early on, I do believe. So unfortunately, he just might be done for the evening with 10 laps to go now. Yep, 10 laps to go here in tonight's race. And Paul Cohen on pit road with his pit crew hard at work, trying to replace the front wing. But up front here, still being led by 75 of Robert Barras, Simon Thorne second, Ronald Vincent third, Mark McFadden fourth, Jeff Dodson fifth, John Estes sixth, 13 of Charles Smith seventh, Paul Cohen eighth, Stephen Leffler ninth, Jeremy Horn 10th, and Jim Whaley Jr. in the 11th place position. Yep, absolutely right there, John. I do agree. Yeah, and over to apron transition could be very tricky and deadly. If you probably use the same words twice right there, but yep, tricky and deadly is a great combination to use. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here from the league owner himself, Jeff Dodson. For those of you interested, check out the Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing, or check out their website. That's AmericanTracker8.wixsite.com. That's AmericanTracker, the number 8. .wix, that's W-I-X, site, site.com/RTRL. And you guys will find all the information that you need in order to be part of the action here with the Roaring Thunder Racing League. If you want to race on Saturday nights in the IndyCar Series or on Tuesday nights in the Pro Mazda Series. So you guys can once again join either of those or both of those based on your availability and preference. And we'll be having a 6-lap shootout, ladies and gentlemen. 6-lap shootout coming up once we go green. With that said, 1 lap after we go green, the next flag will end the race. So fingers crossed. Well, we are now 1 to green as promised. The 6-lap shootout coming up. Robert Barra still leading. Simon Thorne starting 2nd. Ronald Vincent 3rd. Mark McFadden 4th. And Jeff Dodson in the 5th place spot, rounding up the top 5. The green flag is now out. Robert Barras once again finds that gas pedal. Great restart against the 2nd place driver Simon Thorns. We have Ronald Vincent this time get a better start and still right behind the 57 of Simon Thorns. And here for the back in this pack, the 3 of Jeff Dodson's next opponent is for position is the 48 of Mark McFadden. They are both 1 lap down. So far Mark McFadden, Jeff Dodson, John Estates, all 1 lap down, 4th through 6th respectively. Charles Smith 2 laps down, Stephen Leffler 4 laps down, and Paul Cohen 8 laps down and dropping as he is on pit road, getting some damage fixed on that machine. But Stephen Leffler going down pit road as we speak with 5 laps remaining. Going back up front here, the top 3 drivers. Robert Barras about 4/10 of a second ahead of 2nd place driver Simon Thorns. At the exact same time, Simon Thorns is 2/10 of a second ahead of 3rd place driver Ronald Vincent. And ladies and gentlemen, the next flag ends the race. 2 laps remaining. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the white flag. So far, still single file going on. Ronald Vincent coming very close to the rear end of Simon Thorns. He's not going to have enough to make it. Neither will these Simon Thorns against Barras. And Robert Barras brings this thing home for his 9th win of the season. Simon Thorns come out 2nd. Ronald Vincent comes out 3rd. Mark McFadden 4th. Jeff Dodson 5th. John Estates 6th. Charles Smith 7th, Stephen Leffler 8th, Poco in 9th, Jeremy Horn 10th, and Jim Whaley Jr. in the 11th place position. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll interview the top 3 drivers here. That is Robert Barras, Simon Thorns, Ronald Vincent. So please stay tuned as we try focus on the 75 of Robert Barras. Hopefully see a smoke show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up in the Dre Broadcasting booth, Robert Barras, Simon Thorns, and Ronald Vincent. Well, Ronald, as usual, the camera is all yours, so please, if you plan on doing so, blind us.
Yeah, gonna come around here and wave to all the fans. I kind of junked half the field, so I don't think we need to be doing any lighting the back tires up. We gotta save that tire money to pay for some broken cars.
Oh, copy that, brother. Copy that. Well, Robert, last race we had 2 weeks ago, Road America, your win streak was broken. Your 8th win streak was broken. But tonight, something tells me, and you have proven that you are about to start another win streak going on. This one giving you your 9th win of the season. How's the race tonight?
It was kind of up and down. I think the whole field was pretty even. We kind of were drafted pretty much flat foot. It was really hard to pass. It seemed like you could make the bottom work, and then you try it, and then the car just wouldn't turn. And you couldn't really set anybody up on the outside of them because they could, if you were behind them and offset, they could then dive to the bottom, and you wouldn't be close enough to get there outside. So you just kind of had to wait and hope people used up their tires, and then try to pin them on the inside, in the bottom lane. But that took 30 laps of tire wear to make that happen, and we didn't look like we were getting runs to have that go. So towards the middle there, I junked up the whole field. On a restart, the left front just clipped the apron at the exit of 4, and I didn't think it was going to be a big enough deal to even lift out of the gas, but it was enough to break enough momentum that I think it was Jeremy was behind me. He didn't have anywhere to go, and it turned the car sideways and in front of the whole field. Junked a bunch of cars. I was lucky enough to be able to get a backup out and get back through the field, and I kind of was able to. Simon left an opening for me there on a restart where I could get to his outside, and I think maybe he wasn't restarting in the right gear. I had a big run on him, and then at that point it was just stay in clean air and nail the restarts.
Oh, most definitely, man, and a heck of an eventful race on your part and well-executed strategy as usual. And when you talked about the tire wear there, Robert, when it comes to tire wear, we noticed that you went the most laps on your tires before the first and only green flag pit stop that we had. Here you had 52 laps on your tires, while everybody else had way less than that. How did you feel that affecting the machine, if it did at all?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I pitted with everybody else. I think we had a caution before we needed to come in, before we ran out of gas. So I think I was pretty much on the same pitch strategy as everybody else. And I think overall the tires weren't wearing too bad unless you got pinned to that bottom. If you got pinned to that bottom, it was really hurting off of 4 for whatever reason. And so if you could just ride long enough, you could get to the outside of somebody in the 4, and then hopefully get them pinned down and get the momentum, and you could get clean air by turn 1, then you'd be set for sail. Otherwise, it was just kind of ride.
Almost definitely, man. Well, congrats on your success here tonight, having your 9th win of the season. And next week, we look forward to seeing you at Kentucky Speedway. Well, before we let you go celebrate, any final words?
No, just thanks for Jeff for putting everything on, and you guys at Dre Broadcasting for broadcasting this. And still kind of bummed about taking out a bunch of the field. It kind of puts a sour note on the victory. So we'll take that as a lesson and rebound and try to put on a clean win for Kentucky.
Well, congrats on the success right there, Robert, and see you again next week in Kentucky. We'll go celebrate. Have a good night.
Thank you.
And that was tonight's race winner, 75 of Robert Barras. But next in line is the 57 of Simon Thorns, being the heaviest mover here tonight. Pick up there, Simon.
Hi there.
How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, not too bad. It's my first time on the podium, so I'm pretty pleased. Started near the back and I was saving some tyres, taking a wide entry, going down to the apex. Got a bit lucky with the wreck, put me up into the lead, which I think me and Ron were up there for a while. I think CB helped Robert come back to us a little bit, but then there was a caution, and just as we were running out of fuel, the yellow flag came out, which I was pleased about because I wasn't looking forward to the pit entry. But yeah, unfortunately, due to inexperience, I left a space on the outside for Robert on the restart, and he managed to get past. I was starting in second gear, so just to save any spinning of the tyres. But yeah, all in all, pretty good race. It was quite hard, stiff competition.
Oh, absolutely, man. You know, so much heavy competition on your part here tonight. And also, being the heaviest mover, you stayed very consistent. You held your own, you know, despite Robert Bear skidding around you. You were still able to hold off Ronald Vincent. And there, early on in the race, you were in second place, and behind you had Paul Cohen. You were able to hold him off as well. And that was amazing to see. You, you know, practicing or mastering a lot of strategy and consistency all race long. And what did you feel about the transition coming from Road America last race to tonight's race here at Iowa?
Yeah, that was a while ago now, wasn't it? Yes, completely different track, obviously. I thought Road America would be one of my best tracks, to be honest. I didn't expect much here tonight, but I managed to click. So I had the computer upgrade. I don't know if that's managed to help the frame rate a little.
Oh, copy that, man. Well, buddy, congrats on your success here tonight at Iowa Speedway. And we look forward to seeing you again next race at Kentucky Speedway. And any final words before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for your broadcaster, and thanks, Jeff, for keep pestering me to race, because I do forget sometimes.
Well, buddy, congrats on your success here tonight, and see you on the podium again next week at Kentucky. Well, go celebrate. Have a good night.
Cheers. Thanks.
That was 57 of Simon Thorns. And next in line is the driver we spoke to there early on in tonight's race, 37 of Ronald Vincent. Get a cop there, buddy.
Yep.
Well, Ronald, you talked about how you made a mistake on pit road. You went from 4th place to 10th place that restart. You also promised us that you were going to be back up there before too long, and you did live up to your word, finishing in the 3rd place spot in the podium after having quite an eventful race after we let you get back to the driver's seat for the green flag run. How's your experience after that?
It was good. I led a few laps. It's like they said, the bottom you couldn't pass. It was very hard to pass. And off of 4, if you were behind somebody, the car was pushing off of 4 real bad. I noticed after the tires wear a little bit, it was doing the same thing off of 4, so you have to lift a little bit. Not a lot, just enough to keep the car from pushing into the wall.
Oh, copy that. And also, Ronald, I noticed something there. We noticed something on one of the restarts. You had a bad restart, it seemed like. And as a result, we had so much lapped traffic coming on your left, coming on your right, behind you. What was going on through your mind at that moment?
I don't know, but that was the worst restart I've ever had. And I started in 1st gear too. I don't know what happened. It just was bad.
Oh man, yeah, I can imagine.
And I like being 3 wide.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can only imagine, you know, because you were just trying to keep your machine clean and having so much pressure. Well, that's very commendable. You being able to keep your cool and being able to still finish in the 3rd place spot, regardless. Well, buddy, we'll be going to a similar track next week at Kentucky Speedway. What are expectations for next week's race?
Oh, good. As long as I keep the car clean and get some practice in and just drive like I did tonight, and I bet I should be good.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, congrats once again on your success here tonight there, Ronald. And before we let you go celebrate, any final words?
Thank you for broadcasting, and I really like racing here. It's a lot of fun.
Well, congrats once again, Ronald, and see you again next week. Now go celebrate.
Okay.
And that was a 37 Ronald Vincent. He a successful night on his part, despite some bad luck there early on. Same with Simon Thorns and Robert Barris. They were all able to overcome that, and he's successful here tonight. Round number 10, right before Kentucky next week. And tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, was the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy 150, brought to you by the Roaring Thunder Racing League Verizon IndyCar Series. And be sure to check them out at Roaring Thunder on Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing at the exact same time. AmericanTracker8.wixsite.com/RTRL in order for you guys to be a part of the action here with the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy cars on Saturday nights and Pro Mazdas on Tuesday nights. So you can join either of those or both of those based on your availability and preference at the exact same time. And ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed the show here tonight by the Roaring Thunder Racing League. It was a heck of a race, and these drivers had an amazing setup, just like Jeff Dawson talked about. And thanks to Charles Smith for building it and setting these guys up for the whole entire race. Well, Dave, any final words before we close off?
Was a good race. Can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings.
Oh, indeed. Our next race, ladies and gentlemen, next week is the Kentucky 150. That's the Kentucky 150 round number 11 of 16. So that's going to be Kentucky Speedway. The next broadcast is going to be tomorrow night with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's the B cars at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So be sure to check that out as well tomorrow night if you guys are interested in seeing the B cars at Las Vegas Motor Speedway with the PRL. I am Sean Zulu, and David Everly behind the camera is also being my right-hand man. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of the action. For the new viewers out there, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. Hope you guys enjoyed the show here tonight. And if you did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you get notified every single time we go live, because we are live about 4 nights a week. So you guys are kept entertained and fed almost every single day of the week. And for the existing and the returning viewers, welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network. Without you guys, we could not have accomplished this much. You guys keep us going with every single broadcast. Once again, I'm Sean Zulu and David Everly. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.